Me too.
I was just telling Lou. I just looked it up. I did have
we're on.
Cowboys under 6.5. That was that one, and that was the one I was most confident in that I placed the bet on in the preseason under battle there. I also and I did this as like a just in case situation. With Pete Carroll being at the Raiders, I went over 6.5 on the Raiders. Boy, do I look like an idiot for doing that now.
I used alternate over 6.5 on the Raiders and over 6.5 with Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I gave that to client. That's a loser.
Oh, you know, that's why I have that bet then. Yeah,
yes.
It's because of Lou. That's why I have that bet.
I'm sure it could be, and I'm going to take responsibility for him because when my winners come up, should I win a couple of them, I'm not going to be shy.
Well, I thought Pete Carroll would improve that Raiders team, and then also Atlanta. Everybody had Atlanta.
Well, Pete
winning
Carroll
that
took
division
over a grease fire, and it's still a grease fire. And there's a lot of ears in Davis's. There's a lot of mouths in Davis's ear over there. I go up there once a month for these panels. One of the guys I sit with, Ken Thompson's a Raider reporter up there, so he's spoon feeding me stuff. There's a lot of voices up there.
It's okay. We'll talk about that off air because I have a theory on Mark Davis. And by the way, second hour main event, humble host Stephen McCollum, Uncle Lou, VSIN Network, of course, contributor, and then Gamblu.com as well. We'll do your intro in a minute.
Later.
And we'll talk NFL and more in depth coming up.
We don't have to do that every week, so we're good.
But Mark Davis, and I have a theory on him.
All right.
Mark Davis doesn't care if his team wins or loses. He's not going to spend the money. You want to know why? That stadium sells out regardless because the visiting fans come to Vegas and they sell out that stadium. Where the Raiders could have no talent on that team. He could care less about winning, Lou. Just feed me my billions of dollars.
I can't comment whether he wants to win or not. I do know this, and you should know better, because we live in Phoenix. And I was here in the 80s when Green Bay came and played St. Louis Cardinals at Tempe Stadium when they were talking about moving the St. Louis Cardinals to Phoenix. That's how long I've been here. And I remember when we got a pro team and we would go to the games, and here's what we saw. Yeah. We saw 25% Cardinal fans and everyone else. And when it was a Dallas game, it was stupid. It was a Dallas Super Bowl, and there would be a little thing of red up in the corner.
And the Cardinals were actually good when they got here, too, and you still had that problem. Yeah, I understand that's part of it, but Vegas, it's even worse. Vegas, Cardinals have problems selling tickets. I can tell you right now, the Atlanta game's coming up. If you have season tickets, you want to unload them, good luck. Because there's no Atlanta fans here. You saw that with Jacksonville. Those teams will sell out that stadium. And also, as you know,
if the Cardinals were good, they'd have no problem putting butts in seats.
But that's the difference. The casinos give tickets. They own a bunch of tickets. They give tickets to high rollers. They give tickets to people spending money with them. People fly there to obviously spend time in Vegas and watch their team play. You're right. I may be too harsh saying he doesn't want to win. I'm just saying I get the impression Mark Davis, in my opinion, Mark Davis is like, I can put an extra $10 million into my team, or I can just pocket that money because I'm going to sell out regardless.
Yeah, he owns part of the Aces as well, but
and he's successful there.
Yeah. I can't comment on any of that except that that Raider Stadium is an easy ploy because here's the other thing. If you're a Raider fan, once you go there and deal with the brain damage of getting in and out of it for a game, you're never going back.
It's terrible.
The touristas don't mind, and when they go home, they're like, yeah, that was so much fun. That's a great stadium. But getting to and from is brain
You park
damage.
at the Luxor and you walk across that bridge to get over. That's the easiest way to do it.
I stay at the South Point. We go in their limo and go into a private drive and go right up to their suite, and holy moly, is that nice. Now, I only have been able to do that once, but once was enough. Yeah, I know. Now you go that way, I'll never go the other way.
That's the problem. You spoiled yourself now. You're
I'm polluted.
Walk across this bridge. What?
No, I don't mind a walk. I'm on this big diet anyway. I need a walk.
I know, you started the diet. Before we get into anything here, your Thanksgiving, you really sold your cooking of those yams. The way you're cooking that Thanksgiving meal. How'd that turn out for everything?
It really turned out great. everything was hot. And the toughest thing for me is that damn gravy, because you got a bird that needs to be cut. I got green bean casserole and yams in the oven, and I'm jacking, and I'm trying to get the dressing out of the bird, and I'm jacking with gravy. So there's a lot of arms. So it came out hot. It came out good. The bird was great. It's simple. I love the dressing, and the family did great. We had no dessert, and we didn't need dessert.
Yeah, you said no dessert. Nobody cared?
Nobody. My mother-in-law brought a pie, and I told her to give it to Cole, my son, because I don't want to open the fridge and see a pie there for a week when I'm eating nothing but beans
leftovers.
and
How much leftovers did you have?
I had one full plate the next day that I did eat, and I had the dressing, the mashed potatoes, the white meat, and the gravy.
It always cracks me up because on Friday we went to the ASU U of A game, and everything, and do your bragging. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, for a year, it's ours. But then what's going to happen? And here's my question. It's a legit question.
Yeah.
When's one of these teams going to win a home game?
Yeah, well, that's the issue. The last three.
And not only that, at least we didn't get in a mascot fight where the devil started spinning the Wilbur's head in circles.
That was so great.
That's one of the greatest.
But I was headed to that game on Friday, and we stopped at a Mexican food place on our way. Right, we're like, let's eat before we get to the stadium. Blah blah blah.
Oh, beautiful!
Dude,
was it good?
Every place we went, every place we drove by, just no restaurants had anybody. And I was like, and everybody's like, this is weird. And I was like, everybody's at home eating leftovers, probably.
You mean the restaurants were empty?
Oh yeah, we walked. We were like 3 people, and we went to McCollum's. And there were like 3 people in there on a Friday night at like 4 p.m.
Jeez, that's when I want to go there.
I know. It was like, what?
And McCollum's not bad.
That's a little greasy, but it ain't too terrible.
Not bad.
It's a little on the greasy side.
It's better than Taco Bell.
I'll say this. The family sold out of McCollum's. If you don't know that, it was family owned for decades. They sold out, and the company that bought them hasn't ruined them yet, which is good to see, because my biggest problem in life right now is all these private equity firms buying companies like Subway and Jimmy John's, and they shrink everything and they charge you through the roof, and they're just ruining everything. These private equity companies.
I don't go to any chain restaurant.
Like
I go to local independent joints.
We were going
Rosita's.
to
I want to mention Rosita's on 22nd Street. We've met there.
Yeah, I love that.
You want authentic Sonoran Mexican food?
No, I agree with you. It was just we were on the way to the game. We were just trying to.
Oh no, I get that you're and don't get me wrong. I'd rather choose Macayo's over a burger joint, or Wings is up there though. I do like Wings.
Oh yeah, wing. Where's a good wing place for you these days? Because I'm finding wing places. The good ones are gone now. The ones that I really liked are gone now. At least out in my neighborhood. And so I'm struggling to find a good, solid wing place now that's consistent and has good, meaty wings.
Well, there are many
outrageous
opinions, but mine, lay down, hands down, is a bar called JT's on 52nd Street and Indian School Road in the border of Scottsdale and Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And you go in there, and I order them double dipped, which means they
you like them
cook
juicy.
them on they cook them on cook them on a grill, deep fry them, put them back on the grill, sauce them, and then they come to you. But no, they're dry. They
cook it with the sauce first, and then they put the sauce back on
the grill, that dries it out. And I like them dry, and I order my extra crispy.
To me, there's nothing worse than it comes out and you're just digging through the sauce because it's all runny.
I gotta have all that. I want it messy, man.
I'm a germaphobe, and I don't like.
Oh no, man! Give me that slop and a piece of bread to mop it up.
3 days later, you're like, what? Wait, what's that?
No, that's when you use, and here's another great little place on Indian School Road here in Phoenix called the Angry Crab.
Oh, Angry Crab.
And the Angry Crab, I'm telling you what, it's like Cajun, and they do a good job of it.
Bring the bucket out for you.
But the best thing about it is when you go after you've eaten and you're all slopped out, you walk over and they have literally a sink trough.
Yeah.
And it's wide and deep, and you get in, and they got paper towels, and you damn near, I seen guys taking a bath in the thing. I mean, it's that big. you wash off and you go back. It's beautiful.
My problem with crab, I love crab. My problem with it is you have to work so dang hard to eat it.
Well, I eat the shrimp. I eat a barbecued shrimp with a corn on the cob and all kinds of hunk of sausage. And I'm so eager to talk about food because I haven't eaten any.
Because it's on the diet. I'm bringing it up now.
No, it's all. That doesn't bother me a bit.
No, I just want to make sure Thanksgiving because you sold it well. I was thinking about you on Thursday watching the games, and I was like, oh, Lou's probably just in heaven right now.
Right as the second game started. Is when we
2:30ish?
2:30ish, yes. That's great. It's just then afterwards, and I really did good about taking, but when you take a small portion of that many things, you end up with a big plate.
Well, that's the problem. Your plate's overfilling, right? And stuff like that. I just don't know if I can I can't do normal days without a piece of pumpkin pie. Like I always have a pumpkin pie laying around. I love me some of that.
You? Well, you know what? I commend you because that's delicious pie. So's pecan pie.
You're a pecan guy.
I have a pecan tree in my backyard and make my own pies in a smoker.
For me, it's just apple and pecan and pumpkin pie are my two favorites. I can eat those year round.
Any pie. You give me any kind of pie, I'll eat. I love pie. That joint up north on the I-17.
The pie place, the Rock. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah,
Rock
Cafe or
Rock
something
City or
like
something.
that.
Yeah, you come in southbound on
now
I-17.
You spend $30 on
a
pie, but let me tell you, that's a pie. That's a pie.
It's amazing to see. Well, let's do it. I know we don't have to do the intros every time, but we're down to 2 UFC fights left.
Yep.
But more importantly, it's the time of giving. We had Bruce Cooper in on Tuesday, and they hit records on their Turkey Tuesday that they do. He's been doing it for 30 years. With a bunch of entities out there, Basha's, Food City, Channel 12.
Oh, cool.
Doing all that stuff, hit record numbers. And I want to continue that if we can, Lou. So tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes.
And, of course, what it means to work with you and invest with you as well and all of that.
So Gamblu.com is the webpage. We're in December now. And so Gamblu is going to be, and everything about me is banded on the top, where you see testimonials, mission statement, all that stuff to make me look like a polished corporate guy. And in fact, that I'm not. I'm just independent businessman. But what I do is invest in NFL, UFC, College World Series, and NHL playoffs. Those are the 4 sports I specialize in. I do 2 podcasts dedicated to the UFC. And Kobe's good enough to scroll down, let you take a look at my webpage. You can see my credentialed media stuff.
I like the picture differences on everybody's media passes.
Well, you send your own in. I get cued on some of them. And so for the first 2 years that the webpage has been, this webpage has been active 2 years after I had one for 10 years. And so a long story short, we used the webpage to invest in and pay for the costs of the Gamblu webpage, which have now been satisfied. And so now our only sole purpose is to provide winners. This year, they're going to be provided free of charge. In the last 2 years, there was a paywall on the College World Series, the NHL, and the UFC. No longer. NFL's different. It's in its own category, and those interested in NFL can go to the consulting tab. But at the bottom line is, next year, everything's going to be available on the front page. We're going to tally just like I would normally for clients publicly. And I think that extra edge of being public and transparent is going to shock me into a good year because I'm currently about 8 units down in the UFC on the year. And that's very unusual. It doesn't happen often, but it is happening. Now I have 2, I'm coming off 3.5 unit win last week. I have 2 cards left, and I'm holding an Aspinall ticket that if he's the champ January 1, there's 5.3 units there. So
a huge one.
I have a chance to try and negate that. And sometimes, oftentimes, when you run a business, it's important to maximize profit when you can, but it's also when times are tough, you have to minimize loss. And so what I'm trying to do now is get myself to 0. I can live with 0 or a couple units after 45 events, even though I don't want to. Yeah. But I can't live with doubling down. All of a sudden, I'm down 20 or 25 units. I see guys that bet 20 units on one UFC card. I'm way more conservative than that. Nonetheless, gamblu.com. And near and dear to our heart, we're donation friendly to the San Xavier mission. It's the oldest mission in the state of Arizona and the United States, as a matter of fact. And part of our proceeds the last 2 years have gone to the mission, and they will continue to go to the mission and another cause we'll talk about when we get into 2026.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Steve, for letting me say all that.
So that's the big announcement here, that you're going beyond the paywall and everything except for NFL. So back to the free system for you and stuff like that. So you guys want to follow gamblu.com if you're into investing. And if you're just listening, like I know a few of you, several people reach out to me and they don't gamble, but they like the way you look at the sport, and it gives them kind of bragging rights when they talk to their people out there. Of course, pay attention to gamblu.com going into this new year.
Or if you want to just listen to some strong thoughts and you want to argue with me, or as long as it's done in a respectful manner, I get fans all the time, don't like and do like what I say. I'm totally open to feedback.
So you have that Aspinall ticket. I mean, it's a winner, but I do have a question.
Yeah, based on how it's still alive.
Well, exactly. Well, and he's not going to fight again, obviously, the rest of the year, right?
Rest of the year, yes.
That's what I mean.
That's a winning ticket.
Yeah, that's a winning ticket.
Yes.
Except for the fact, doesn't he have to have eye surgery?
We're waiting to find all that out.
Yeah, okay.
His eye is
There's no
screwed
danger
up.
of the UFC taking the title away from him or anything like that if he's going to be out for a long time before the end of the year?
I don't know. I do know this.
I don't think they would, but
I know we're not going to know anything before January 1, and that's all the F I care about.
Exactly.
Because on 12/31 of 25, that day goes when 1/1 starts, Aspinall will be your UFC champ, and we will win that bet. That was how the bet was set up. And we did it in January. Did I know all this was going to happen? No. We greased out of that Gane fight, to be honest with you, because Aspinall looked like he had a tough fight on his hands. So it happened but Gane is a notorious eye poker. Mm-hmm. And so is Imavov. And you know what those two have in common? They fight out of the same gym. And that's what this thing's getting to a big stink now, because ex-fighters and fighters, even Henry Cejudo fighting this week, says, hey, come on, man, you just got to immediately take points or you're not going to stop it. They do it. They take advantage. They don't get harmed in any way. They get warned, and then they have advantage in the fight. It don't take Stephen Hawking to figure it out.
So because I thought about you on this Aspinall situation, because now he's saying he has to have eye surgery. He's calling out the UFC.
He may have to. His eyes are effed up. Yeah.
He's got 3 fights left. I looked this up. This is how in depth I got thinking about you, Lou. He went 3 fights left on his current contract. I don't know what it takes to get out of a current contract, or if it does or it doesn't. But it looks to me like Aspinall's just had enough of the UFC with this eye situation and stuff like that. So that's just kind of where I thought of you, of like, will something squirrely happen where
that's not the case, though. No, here's the truth. Aspinall's been dying to be UFC champ his whole life. Okay. He's disappointed in the fact that Dana White, who cares nothing about the athlete, the UFC regards their athletes like hanging meat, and we've talked about this. And so he doesn't care. He feigns like he does when he needs something, but he just wants Aspinall in there so he can get on with heavyweight fights. He don't care about the eye or nothing else. Aspinall's realizing that now and coming to terms with it. So what happens by way of estrangement in January, February, and March, I will monitor, I guarantee you. But right now, all I care about is what happens on 12/31.
But that's why I thought of you. Is I was like, is there a danger of Dana White pulling all right, you want to play this game? You're stripped of your title, and that'll be like December 27th.
He's absolutely capable of that. I just can't see it happening before the 31st.
Yeah. That's why I thought of you. Was Dana White doing a little thing?
I've been surprised before.
Yeah.
And here's a news flash. I've been wrong before.
Right. I don't know. That's why I thought of you. I don't think it would happen either, but it just the way it's going right now with him speaking out the way he is and doing all that, I could just see, end of the year kind of a jerk move there by by Dana White at the end of the year. It has nothing to do with the bet. Obviously, Dana White's not thinking about the bets. It's more of a, How dare you talk to me like that?
No, White's got guys talking to him way worse than that. Aspinall would be 10th on his list. He's putting the White House card together.
The favorites this year, according to your blog there on your website.
Yes, I'm glad you looked at
311, 150, and 15, which makes it about, I'm going to trust your math here, 65.3%.
That's exactly
so that's just a couple points higher than the normal average of 63.
Yes, sir.
Out there as well. So last year it was super high, right? The favorites.
Really high, 71, 72. It was odd too.
They've got it back down to... I'm going to call it
but
the normal
not to
levels.
what normal. So is this the new normal? Because if it is, it's gonna force me into further adjustments. This year, I had to play a few more chalk parlays, favorites together to make a plus number. But and you can see if you check my results, I'm about 43% wins. Because I bet underdogs. Well, 43, you turn that around, that's 57. So I'm a little bit ahead of what the rated dogs are realizing in the USC, but not enough to make me profitable in units. So I'm going to have to make adjustments in this upcoming year. And the good news is that after these two cards, I'll have a full month to be able to tweak my database, get my act together, review last year's numbers, and see where I can try and improve over next year, because next year I'm going to have the benefit of being public. And so my webpage is going to have stuff available to anyone that wants to use it and look at it, and I'm going to tabulate results week by week. So to me, that adds way more pressure than just working with clients. But the responsibility with the clients was I'd like to see them win on their investment, and this year they may not, and that's not ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's big changes here coming for Gamblu.com. So pay attention to that here after these next couple fights. But this week, before we get into the NFL, UFC 323, their T-Mobile Arena. Last pay-per-view fight before we go to the Paramount card, where there'll be no pay-per-views coming up at that point and everything. And then next week, you have a Apex fight coming up as well for the last two come up here. But this fight here has some fighters on it, Lou, coming up here. You got two yawns, by the way. You just gotta, don't bet on the wrong yawn. That's what we'll talk about here.
Yeah, maybe.
But, in terms of, being a numbered fight here, you got early prelims, you got regular prelims here. I'm going to leave it to you and the early prelims and tell us, is there an early prelim fight or a couple that we should pay attention to going into this weekend side of things before we get into the prelims and the main card?
This week I coded my model here so that I know what are the early prelim fights and the regular prelims. So let's start with early prelims. And actually, early prelims are fire.
Really?
They're fire. Now, the first one, Abdul Malik against Trocoli. The only interest in Trocoli, the guy's a 2x4, and he's going to get killed. But he's boyfriend to Mackenzie Dern, who just won the strawweight title. Mm-hmm. And Mackenzie Dern is a beautiful young American-Brazilian young lady who is a champion fighter, but also looks good on a surfboard. The next fight, let's go about here. Here's Iwo Baranowski, a Polish vice grip wrestler, gonna fight a guy from Turkey, Ibo Aslan. We got Iwo against Ibo, and that's gonna be a killer fight. Aslan is big and huge and hulking and slow as a glacier. He's got some power and decent grappling. I don't know much about this Polish Baranowski, but he opens a -150, and currently, I don't have my screen up right now. He's 185, I bet.
185, yes, sir.
Bingo. So
185 favorite.
How about that? I'd rather be lucky than good. So Baranowski is a guy that I'm interested in. I don't think I can bet on a guy that I've never seen fight before, especially when he's the favorite, but I'll be watching that one.
Well, the over-under on this fight's 1.5. This is a light heavyweight bout, right? Over-under's 1.5.
Yeah.
The under is -195.
Yeah,
so,
with a wrestler, I'd tend to go over. That might be the angle in that fight. I think a guy might finish another guy, but this could be two polar bears dancing at the high school prom all night, slow and just mugging and ugly. It could be. But here's one that won't be. Another early prelim fight. The Hillman from Tajikistan. His name is Muhammad Naimov. He's a 145-pound vice grip wrestler, aggressive, wild man from the Borneo. He's fighting this other long, cool, smooth, slick, highly athletic, highly dangerous Myron Santos from Brazil, who needs a little more space, won't want it in close and uptight. Naimov will. This will be a sensational fight. And Santos is getting bet up into the plus 260 or so range.
Minus 258 right now on draft. We use DraftKings on the show for UFC guys, just so you know. So 258 right now. He's a favorite, Santos.
Perfect. So I'll try and find that while we're speaking. So there's two fights. Barboza and Turner, couple of strikers. Somebody gets knocked out. Barboza, now 40 years old, fighting against a guy, Turner, 39, I should say, that's 30 years old. Turner is coming back out of retirement, and I think they're kind of giving him a setup fight because Barboza's made for him.
Minus 325 for Turner right now.
That's pretty much for early prelims. Now we segue from early prelims to just the regular prelims.
Yeah. All free, by the way. This portion of the card is free if you don't want to pay the $80 for the last time for the main event. So these early prelims, you're saying don't miss them.
These are good fights.
So you can watch these for free, just so you know.
So the early prelims are Fight Pass.
Yes.
These prelims, the middle, the meat of the sandwich, that you'll get that on ESPN Plus or maybe even ESPN. You'll get those trying to hook you into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, with the championship games, I'm not sure, but possible. Yeah.
So, but and what time those are? I want to say 4 o'clock.
I tell you right here. First fight is because it's 8 p.m. because of our time frame here. 5 o'clock. Yeah, 4:45. Excuse me. 4:15 is the first.
4:15 Mountain.
Our time.
4:15 Mountain.
Phoenix
so that
time.
means 3:15, 5:15, and 7:15. Yeah. So there's your times. If you're Pacific PST, because I think in terms of PST, that's all I could go. Okay, so now we're in the regular prelims, no matter what time they start. And let me tell you, they got some good fights here too. The regular prelims, styles make fights. Manuel Torres, a Mexican fighter from Chihuahua, now training at TriStar in Canada. Why would he do that? Because he needs to pick up wrestling and he knows it. But you don't learn wrestling overnight. Torres is a cold-blooded striking killer. Knees, elbows, 1-2, and his 1-2 isn't 1-2 like Barbie. His 1-2 is straight down the pipe, and if it hits you, you're out. Ask Drew Dober in his last fight. This dude, Torres, is a bad hombre, but he's susceptible to wrestlers. Who's he fighting? A guy in Grant Dawson that's an absolute vice grip wrestler, developed, experienced in the division, fights out of AT&T in Florida, a gym where he gets unbelievable amounts of competition from every size, shape, color, and ethnicity of athlete you could possibly think of with every fighting style. So Grant comes fully prepared for what Torres is going to do, and Torres is coming fully prepared for what Grant's going to do. Which one's going to win? Well, Dawson's favored, and I tend to think that he's going to be a little bit too much for Torres, who doesn't have the wrestling, even though he's addressing it. And the fighters all, when they address it, they learn so much, so quick. But wrestlers like Dawson, this dude was wrestling, he's in the second grade. That lifetime of wrestling can't be overcome in a camp or two. And so I'm going to lean to Dawson in the fight.
Dawson's minus 218 favorites on this. And I find it interesting. Torres has that knockout power. And you say Dawson, can obviously take him out. Does Dawson have the knockout power as well?
No,
if he can
Dawson doesn't have the hands and can't stand with Torres. That being said, Dawson 3 fights ago was fighting King Green, Bobby Green. Bobby Green don't have any more power than I do. But he has a snappy jab, and Dawson went to attack him when Green unleashed a jab, hit him, and knocked him out in the first round. So with wrestlers, what you get besides all the unrelenting forward pressure, determination, cardio, strong as an ox, never quit, they struggle with taking shots and giving shots. It's the last development or evolution in their mixed martial arts weaponry. And Dawson has been knocked out. Does that mean he's going to get knocked? No. But it's what Torres is going to want to do because Torres does not want to wrestle with
the reason why I'm asking is obviously Dawson's a 218 favorite according to DraftKings going into this.
I'm looking at the
over under 1.5. The under 1.5 is minus 135, which tells you somebody thinks somebody's getting knocked out early, or possibly a submission if it's a wrestling technique.
Yeah,
that's why I was asking that question on Dawson.
They're saying Torres is going to find Dawson coming in, or Dawson's going to get him to the ground and get his arms around his neck and submit him. Okay. That's what they're saying. Now, I tend to lean the other. Plus 1. So let's see.
Plus 105 to the over.
Yeah, but here's where I go.
Yeah, it's interesting styles here, and then I saw those numbers, and it just kind of raised my eyebrows, like, on what you're looking for,
round props. Okay, so let's go to starts round. So I'm just gonna. What's Dawson and what's his name to Torres? What is he to start round 2? Because I know what 1.5 is. Fight to start round 2 minus 145. That's a farm bet. You know what a farm bet is?
Tell everybody what it is, because I don't know.
It's bet the farm. That's what that is. That's what that is right there. Bet the farm.
There we go,
That fight's
folks.
starting round 2.
Yeah, perfect for that. Now, that is going to be the last fight in the prelim side. I do want to ask you, Macy Barber, Karine Silva. We've seen both of these ladies. It's a women's flyweight bout here. We've seen both of these ladies before.
What is it with you and these women fights?
I actually remember Silva because you talked at length about Karine Silva as well. You liked her a lot. I actually have this written down on my notes, Lou, that you like her a lot. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up with this matchup. I know you like her, and generally, like anything on the ladies' fight, decisions, whatever. But I take note when you. I'll put it this way: you don't talk positively. I shouldn't say it that way. You don't talk glowingly about women's fights too much. So when you do, I take notes of it.
Well, they're often 2.5 rounds over minus 300.
Exactly.
So you're really seeing a lot of skill, maybe some grappling, but you're not seeing violence. 85, 88% of the time, you're not seeing violence, striking, or wobbled knees and excitement. You're seeing, let's go make a sandwich time. And I don't mean to throw shade on them because they're great young people. They work very, very hard. But the fact is there's only 135, 125, and 115 weight class categories. And even in the men under 155, there's fewer knockouts, power there. That's a little more skill, speed, agility, etc. And so while I like watching that, I also track almost every card how many fights are at 170 or above, because those are the ones I want to see, because that's where you get Weak Knee Willie against, King Kong, and one guy puts the other guy to sleep. That's why we watch.
Yeah. No, I get it in that. And also, Lou, I just love the ladies.
And well, let's talk about these two ladies. Macy Barber is really, they called her to the future. She was once like the 1920 and had a great future, but she's had mixed results, some inconsistency. In her last fight, she had a great opportunity against a gal named Blanchfield, who's a top fighter in the division. And right before the fight, she got nerves and backed out. They called it a medical thing, but she's struggled with mental composure right before a fight. She's been inconsistent with that. So there's that. And then this Karine Silva, who I think is an up-and-coming fighter, and she recently lost a fight she shouldn't have to a gal named Araujo. And Araujo, a lot like Barber, mean, aggressive, coming after you. And I don't think the same kind of fighter is going to get the best of her again. And Karine Silva's an underdog in this fight, plus 164. So I like that a little bit. And I look, 2.5 rounds. Well, the over is minus 260, just what we expected. But you look at points, Silva plus 3.5. So if it goes to decision, and it's either a split decision or the other girl wins 29-28, 29-28, 29-28, and you got a 3-point game or a 3-point decision, Silva plus 3.5, minus 195, 2-1. They don't want you to take that. And so for that reason, that's probably a parlay piece for me somewhere.
Mix it in with another big
that fight's
number
probably going to decision, and one girl's going to decision or split decision the other, and you're going to give me 3.5 points. That's one where I can go make my sandwich, come back, see if I won.
At the end, you're right. Hey, Chris Duncan's back in this fight. I like him as a Scottish fighter. Terrence McKinney here, the prelim fight, lightweight bout here for these guys. Just your opinion, Chris Duncan, the Scotlander there is a minus. Right now it's changed. He's a minus 148 fighter going into this fight.
And the total is 1.5.
Is 2.5 actually.
2.5?
Oh, you know what? I apologize.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to stop, take a commercial.
1.5 it is. Yeah.
Yes.
The under is minus 360 in this.
This McKinney is an assassin. He for 6 to 6.5 minutes, McKinney's the most feared, furious, fast, powerful, aggressive fighter you can see. He's got great wrestling, never uses it. However, he tends to, after he blows that out, run out of juice, and he finds a way that the other guy gets him beaten. So the prescription against Terrence McKinney is and when I was talking to John Crouch this week, I was like, hey JC, can Duncan see round 2? That's the question. Can Duncan weather the first round and see round 2? Because, and I love your eye for talent, this Duncan's tough as an old tire iron, a Scottish fighter, comes forward, never stops, never going backwards, but he's not going to be as fast and agile, not going to be as flashy or as powerful on the feet as McKinney. And so he's going to have to weather himself 5 minutes of storm. And if he does, I think he can come out on the other end of the fight. And I do think he can. And I mean, he's a legit favorite. And maybe you look at Duncan inside the distance or some kind of gimmick that way, but you're in against a dangerous hombre. You don't want to miss. This is going to be a great fight, another great stylistic fight. Okay. Mostly a well-rounded mixed martial artist with durability and cardio, Duncan, against a really flashy guy in McKinney that if he just learned how to regulate his mind and use his wrestling would be real dangerous. Could McKinney come out and compete and regulate himself into a close fight with Duncan over the long haul? He could, but we just have never seen it.
So we'll just call McKinney the cheetah here. Just a quick burst.
That's a good way to put it.
And survive it is what you're looking at.
He's
with Duncan
he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, I really like Chris Duncan. He's just one of those old school hard nosed. Just no matter how many times you hit him, he still stands there. I don't know if that's good or bad. He just stands there and still continues to fight. And
he's been subbed. He got subbed by Manuel recently. Torres, who's on this fight card.
Yeah, didn't he? That was No, he won his last fight, so that was a couple fights ago.
Fights ago, yeah. I remember he bounced. He come back on a bounce and there was one fight with
Chris Duncan that I was like, maybe I missed. Maybe I don't like this
guy.
Was it.
It was Torres because he came out and he was aggressive and Torres wrapped him up. And Torres ain't really a sub guy.
Let's get through these main cards here and just kind of go through the bottom ones here so we can get to NFL. John Blachowicz, Gogdan Guskov here is the first one coming up. Light heavyweight bout again. This one's basically pick'em, at least the opening odds, I think, were pick'ems. Now it still kind of is plus 105 for Guskov. Jan is minus 125 right now. Another light heavyweight.
Blachowicz, ex-champion. His last fight was against Blackjack Ulberg, who's like ranked 2 or 3 now, and arguably beat him. His issue is he's 42, and people don't know what to expect, but he tends to get underestimated. He's going to have 2-inch reach advantage here. He's about the same size. Gusov, 9 years the younger man, Uzbeki fighter with good power in his hands. And he's going to try and KO Jan. Jan, I think, needs to take him to the ground here. I think that, Jan, you look at his record. Oh, he's lost his last 2. Who two? Pereira and Ulberg. Come on, world-class guys. I think Jan Blachowicz is live in this fight, and you can get him at a little underdog. I think that's a bargain. Even though he's 42.
Minus 125 right now for him.
Jan's minus 125. He opened minus 150. Okay. I still am not afraid.
Yeah.
I'm still not afraid.
I love these, over under 2.5 here on these light heavyweights. Minus 145 to the under. Obviously, light heavyweights have the power to knock somebody out on this point. So
they do, and I think that under taint, to me, leans it to the fact that Jan's a little more experienced and might be able to get to a guy that's not quite on his level, and Gustav, who's stepping up in the fight, is aggressive anyway, and will be coming in, so he could walk into
walk into a punch coming through. You got Henry Cejudo and Peyton Talbot in this one. I'm looking forward to this one, even though Talbot is a big favorite, minus 258 for him coming into this fight. Tell me why we watch this one.
Styles. Well, we watch it to see what Henry's going to do. He's made known it's his retirement fight.
Yeah.
I'm close to the MMA lab here in Phoenix, and there's a friendly rivalry between Phoenix's MMA lab and Scottsdale's Fight Ready, where Cejudo is an owner. Mm-hmm. So you have to take my comments with a little bit of salt, but Cejudo is not loved from the perspective of where I come from. That said, that doesn't interfere with our ability to assess a fight, and here's the issue here. Henry hasn't fought in a while. His last few fights were decent. He was a recipient of a terrible eye poke his last fight. He's 38 years old, so Talbot's 11 years younger, 6 inches taller, has a 6-inch reach advantage. If Henry gets cute and wants to just make it 15 minutes, he stays on the outside and lets Talbot pick him apart. But if Henry at 38, world-class athlete, two-time Olympian as he is, decides to come and has the ability to wrestle for 15 minutes, he wins his fight as far as I'm concerned. And I think that's what we might see. I regard Henry as live here. We'll see. Talbot and he know each other. They trained together at one point in time when Talbot thought he was retired. Henry gave him all kinds of great life advice and everything. So it's not like these guys hate each other, can't wait to get at each other. But it's fighting, and Talbot's saying, I got to be the one to stop Henry on his retirement fight. And Henry's, who knows? Maybe he just needs to get paid. We'll find out.
That's the question, right? Is he coming back to do this just for the paycheck? Which will affect you, right?
We'll find out Saturday.
Does the weigh-in tell you anything? If Cejudo comes out and struggles a little bit or doesn't look healthy or anything, he'll be fine?
Yes, it would, but he's never struggled at the weight before.
He's going to be fine at that.
And I'm catching him at better than 2-1. So
will I,
at plus 210 or 220, will I maybe invest a little in Henry to see what he's got? Because I know what he had. And I know that's still there. And his mind knows. Yeah. But has his mind convinced him to put the tacos down and train for 15 minutes?
That's why I asked about the weight thing. I could see you're retired. You're coming back. This is my last fight. And, you want to win it, obviously, and you're working hard at it, but you're not taking it as serious as you would have 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, that applies to everyone except a two-time Olympic gold medal champion.
That's why he's a two-time Olympic gold medal champion, and I eat tacos.
We'll see. I mean, we're going to see, but I mean, your question's legit.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking what kind of legacy does he leave? They triple C.
That's the thing. I doubt he's one guy that I probably wouldn't think would want to. Losing's one thing, but losing and not coming in, chubby, out of shape, and so I don't think he's going to come in that way. But
he looked decent in his last fight against
something to just watch on the way in, as if he's looks a little bit heavier. I don't know. I've
been watching it all week.
The guy that says he's retiring just worries me a little bit.
I don't blame you a bit
on that side. Brandon Moreno, Tatsuro Taira.
Taira, ascending Japanese talent. Moreno, a fighter many think that he's been the champion a couple times in the division. Many people think he's spent and his best days are behind him. He's only 31, but he will be 6 years older. And he's got all the experience. He has every fight weaponry, has every kind of fight weaponry. But the other kid is going to be younger, faster, quicker, hungrier, and it should be very, very interesting to see how this fight goes, because Moreno, I don't think the UFC wants him to win, but they love him, and he's been nothing but gold to them. And should he win, he can be on a Noche or a Mexico card that's going to do nothing but draw. And meanwhile, Taira, a Japanese guy, if he wins this fight, he gets propelled into the top of a division that is so paper thin and so irrelevant. I can't believe we're even talking about
The
it.
flyweights?
That being said, it is what it is. We'll watch and see what happens in this fight. I got no clue. I love Moreno. I was here when he won the championship against Figueiredo, and I'll watch this one.
Well, I mean, according to the UFC, I'm going off of their opening odds, -102 Moreno, -118 for Tiara there. And right now it's -122 to the Japanese fighter, +102 for Moreno.
Yeah,
I don't know what you have different, but
No,
obviously
that's-
money's going toward the Japanese fighter.
It has, yes. It's kind of going towards the younger Tyra, and I get that. They're saying that they think Moreno's shot.
That's what I take it. Yeah, that
Excuse me, I'm not so sure, but I lean to the Tyra side, but I love Moreno so much, and I'm a Mexican fight enthusiast from my core, so this one I just watch.
Then you got Alexandre Pantoja, Joshua Van in the co-main event here.
Well, you said that second name great. Say it again for me. That was
Joshua
perfect.
Van?
Yes.
Did I say it wrong?
You nailed it.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, that one's easy.
I'm just having fun.
I
with
know.
it.
But did I nail Alexandre Pantoja is the question.
Absolutely.
I worked on it this
You
week.
did great on that.
And I read it.
So this Pantoja, again, what weight class is this, guys? 125.
Flyweight,
So
tiny.
it's razor thin. And what you got is on the top of the mountain, you got Pantoja. And at the mid-level of the mountain, you got all these guys. He's dominated. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him. They found some kid from Australia, a big, loopy, strong fighter. They threw in too early against him, and Pantoja just ate him for lunch. Pantoja, despite the fact that he is 35 years old, going to be 11 years older than Van, Pantoja is a razor blade, and he struggled and worked tirelessly for years to get recognized in the UFC. Finally has the championship, and he's nails. But this division is thin. There's not a lot of competition, and the right kind of fighter, I think Pantoja can be had. But Van may not be the right kind of fighter. He has the power, he has the will, and he has the strength, but he doesn't have the experience, and he hasn't been in with the kind of caliber that Pantoja has, so there's a little mismatch here. On the feet, Pantoja cannot allow himself to stand and take too many shots from Van, or he'll get iced. And Pantoja's good, but he's quick. And should the young kid range in or lunge in too aggressively and Pantoja gets him down or gets on his back, this fight's over. And so I think Pantoja is right, but maybe not for this raw of a young future top 3 talent in the division.
Is this a 5-rounder or a 3-rounder?
5-rounder because it's a championship.
Over under 2.5 on this, -238 to the over going into this fight here. So the way you described it there, kind of.
Yeah, I think Van's going to be willing and be there, and he's going to be coming forward trying to knock him out, and eventually Pantoja going to get him down. I mean, Pantoja inside the distance, Pantoja sub, Pantoja in a parlay. That's how I view the fight.
Perfect. And then you got the main event here coming up. Peter Van from Russia here against Merab. Now look, I looked at it. See, I was so proud of me last time, and I said it right earlier.
Merab's arguably the fighter of the year this year.
Yeah.
The guy is just, and he's competing against another Russian, Makhachev. Both
he
of them
just fought like a month ago, right?
This is Merab's 4th fight this calendar year. Yeah. That's a lot. And for anyone other than him, I'd be screaming it's too much. And I'm not screaming, I'm saying I think it could be too much. That's an awful lot of pressure, strain, and competition. And who did he fight? Nurmagomedov, O'Malley, Sandhagen, and one other. This will be the 4th. Those are the 3 guys. Those are world-class 1, 2, and 3 guys. One in January, one in June.
But then his fight before that was O'Malley again, right?
Yeah.
So end of last year. So,
yeah, but this year, this is his fourth in a calendar year.
I'm just saying that's who he's fought. Yeah.
And the last one was 2 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, it's 2 months
okay,
ago. Okay.
Against Sandhagen. So he's coming back again quick. Could he be ripe? Yes. Merab won't get caught being out of shape, and he won't get caught for lack of hustle or work. But if he does get caught, or if he does slip on ice, it'll be IQ, underestimation, or maybe something like this where, hey, Merab's a human being just like everyone else, and 4 world-class competitors in a year, with the last one being just 2 months ago, that could be just a little bit too much. Now, in the first fight, Jan claimed he was hurt. Merab took him down like 20 times, and Jan got up. Merab take him down, up, down, up, down, up, down. How's this going to be any different? I don't know. We'll see. But I know we're going to get Jan's best effort. And I know this fight opened Merab minus 260, Jan plus 220. Now I'm looking and seeing Merab minus 410, 405, 4 something. Take back on Jan is in the threes.
320.
So there got to be something for me to figure out how to do something with this fight. I haven't figured it out quite yet. I will by Friday.
Even the distance number is over 4.5 minus 395. So
yeah, so they're saying decision.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
They're saying, all right, these guys are going decision. It's going to look a lot like last fight. Merab's going to steamroll them. All right, well, we'll see. Maybe that's the case.
For that bantamweight title fight, but 2 championship fights on this card.
Yeah, they're feeding us
weekend.
A little bit, and it's a good card through and through. Good fights, good matchmaking. They're getting everybody some fights for the end of the year. Then next year we'll have a interesting hodgepodge of fights, and then we get a couple weeks off where we can focus on NFL.
Absolutely, with the playoff push coming, let's just roll into the NFL since we're running a little bit long here. I don't mind running long. Do you, Lou?
No, I can run a little long.
We obviously talked tonight about Thursday night's game here, Cowboys-Lions. This is important on.
We went really long.
Yeah, so many levels. As well. And we talked football a little early, too. So if you count that, we went even longer, right? So tonight's game, Robert chimed in earlier as well. Don't forget.
Our friend Robert Chalmers.
Yep, 252-6670 is our text line, or at TME Sports Show on X, folks. Hit us up there. He says Cowboys have to be favored, correct?
No, Detroit 3.
3-point favorite for Detroit in this as well. He says the Lions O-line makes the Cardinals O-line look like a bunch of Hall of Famers, with the exception of Sewell. While I agree with Robert in that conception, when you have Gibbs and Montgomery running behind you, they find those holes, even if they're tiny, and they pound those holes. That's why they were trying to bring what's his name back from retirement, and then he failed his physical and not able to come back.
Yeah, I mean Detroit's got the 5th ranked rushing offense. Yeah. And you don't have that behind a shitty offensive line.
It's not as good as it's been in the past.
No,
but it's not.
No, they're missing their center.
Compared to the Cardinals. But here's the other thing. 2 of the top 4 NFL offenses are playing tonight on top of it. So high-scoring affair tonight, Lou. The bigger question.
I wonder. I wonder if Dallas has its way, then maybe so. Because the Detroit will have to play to keep up with them. But Detroit don't want to play that way. What Detroit wants to do is take advantage of what's missing here. 7th ranked Dallas offense by DVOA standards. 5th ranked Detroit offense. There's even 2 good offenses we get to see. 6th ranked Detroit defense. We get to watch a good defense. 31st ranked Cowboy defense. Come on, who you fooling? Who you fooling here? And the game went 5.5 Detroit. Look ahead now down to 3. Everybody believing in the boys. Everybody's believing in them. And I will say this: after 3 games in 10 days, and now they got me a little scared. My fingers are burned. I'm not sure if I'm going to play this game or not, but if I did, it would be the under, because Detroit's going to have to pound it right down the belly of that 29th ranked rushing defense. Yeah. They're going to just pound that. You'll see a lot of Montgomery. Boom, boom, boom. Get the lead and put the pressure on the Cowboys.
And
that's the formula, but I don't know who
and
will
it's
follow.
not like they're playing on short rest. They played last Thursday, both teams.
Each one, yeah.
So they're not playing on short rest at all. So this isn't your typical Thursday night game.
It
because
is
they've had a
4-17 for Dallas.
I understand. Yeah, I get that side. I know. I agree with you on that. It just I did not. I liked your opinion last week on Dallas playing so short, and then adding this onto it as well. It's like, maybe we missed it by a week last week.
Maybe we missed it altogether. Maybe their momentum and belief is so high that they're a freight train.
So I'm looking forward to this game tonight for so many reasons. 6:15 p.m. But then you got Sunday, right?
So we teased at the break. We teased that I was making a bet at the break.
Yes.
And it was because I went to DraftKings. We're talking about Dallas. We have to break in now. So I just bet Dak Prescott 14-1 to win MVP. Because if they win tonight, if they win any day, it's because their offense. And Dak has been torrid hot and leads the NFL in almost every passing category right now. If the Cowboys win tonight and then they face the next 4 games, they've got 3 wins out of those 4. They could roll right in the playoffs, and if they do, Dak has to be considered. So 14-1 Dak. I just wagered it at the last commercial break. You can laugh at me if you want. It's at DraftKings right now. But I before we go to another game, I wanted to at least mention what I teased.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I'd forgotten about that out there. Cowboys, by the way, after tonight, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants.
Yeah, win from that's probably a win or a loss, win or a loss.
Yeah,
win. So they're winning those last 2. We'll have to see what happens before then. And tonight's critical if you're an under Dallas bettor on the season totals.
Yeah. Yes, it is, to say the least there. That tie helped me out. It kept me alive for another week. But
yes, it did.
I just don't – the Cowboys aren't losing out, so that's what hurts me with that, with their 6-5-1 record here going into this weekend. So this weekend you got Steelers-Ravens this weekend. 2 teams 6-6 fighting for that division lead. I'm just way down on the Steelers. And I'm not going to lie to you, Lou. I am way down on the Ravens. I thought Lamar and that offense would be able to – kind of oversee what their defense has done this year, and that offense is worrisome. There's a lot of problems with it. Coming off the Bengals loss last week, Steelers-Ravens coming into this game tonight on 2 teams that at least I'm down on. Is the public down on them? Right now, 5.5-point favorites for the Ravens coming to this game, over under 42.5.
Yeah, last week Pittsburgh played at home against Buffalo. Buffalo had 10 days of rest. Mm-hmm. This week, Pittsburgh goes into Baltimore to play Baltimore, and Baltimore has 10 days rest. So those are bad spots for Pittsburgh playing rested teams. And look ahead line was 6.5.
So it's come down 5.5.
So it's 5.5 now. There's some belief in Pittsburgh.
I use FanDuel for our show on the NFL picks here. So for those of you, it's 5.5 on FanDuel right now.
Why do you use DraftKings for one and FanDuel for another?
DraftKings. It's harder to find the NFL stuff as it is with the
so he's reading it. Well, I got them all right here. I got Circa Sport. Yeah. I got the whole ball.
That's why I changed it, Lou. It's for me, of course.
And I'm seeing 6s everywhere. There's the only 5.5s at FanDuel right now. So you can get Pittsburgh at 6, or you got to get Baltimore laying the 6. When I look DVOA on these teams. I just have, again, Pittsburgh's 12th defense. Baltimore they've had improvement, still 21. But can the Pittsburgh offense do anything against it? Their offense is 22. This is a division game. Pittsburgh +8 on turnover ratio. That is one thing that may give them an opportunity to stay in the game. I don't have a strong opinion.
Then Colts Jaguars coming to this 8-4, 2 another 8-4 teams, division rivals battling it out here for this division. 2 unexpected teams to be at this point this weekend. Colts have had some struggles lately. I mean, Jaguars had theirs earlier in the season as well. I'm interested in the how the public is playing this and if there's been any line movements on this. Right now, it's 1.5-point favorites for the Colts going into this game. Obviously, their defense took a hit. Sauce Gardner, calf strain, I think is what they're calling it last week. for the Colts. So that's a loss for them coming into this. But 1.5 point faves for the Colts.
It was 2.5 a week ago, so this may be an appropriate time to consider buying the Colts low because everybody's now smart enough to know, well, they're not real and they just got beat and Houston went up there, and so everybody's bailing on the Colts. So I don't have to give 2.5 in Jacksonville now in a division game that means everything. I only have to give 1.5, and so that's a money line consideration for me. The Colts
minus 126 right now.
I like them on paper. 21st Jacksonville offense with a quarterback that I don't know if he's really that strong an NFL quarterback against the 13 Indy D and the second-ranked Indy offense against a good Jacksonville defense ranked 10th. So tight division game, more than likely low scoring, but I just see more talent on the Indy side, and I think they're ready. And if I can get them at a pick 'em minus 110. And I will by game time because there's going to be more Jacksonville action coming in. I think that's the way I'll go.
Perfect. Bears-Packers this weekend, a division rival. And look at this. Bears 9-3 on the season. Packers coming off the, of course, Thursday game last week as well, playing this Sunday as well here for the Packers. 9-3-1 for them. I'm sorry, 8-3-1 for them, if my math is correct here. Packers 6.5 point favorite. No love for the Bears here.
Well, I don't know if that's
is there did the number move is
correct.
My question.
No, it's
right?
6.5, and it's still 6.5. Okay. If anything, a couple ticks up on the total from 42.5 to 44.5. Not really a lot of weather this week. You haven't heard me talk about that's because there is none. But in this game, I think you have a competitive 7th-ranked Green Bay D, and I think that's a strong unit for them. Playing against a Chicago offense that believes has some momentum but could be flawed, and that'll be an interesting matchup. The mismatch is the 4th-ranked Green Bay offense that nobody feels is the 4th-ranked. They don't see it, and they haven't seen it, and they see the quarterback doesn't change facial expressions. He's a gambling card player, and so they think he doesn't care, and they want to bail out on him. They're playing the 25th-ranked Bear defense, oh, by the way, against the run, 29th. Yeah, I think this is a coming-out party, and I think Green Bay going to boat race the Bears.
Boat race them there in 6.5. Next one I got to ask you about, local team, Rams-Cardinals. Rams coming here to Arizona this weekend. 8.5 point favorites for the Rams. To me, that number is so low.
Rams are 8-4 against the spread, plus 9 in the turnover ratio. They bring the 3rd-ranked rushing offense into town to face the 20th-ranked rushing defense.
There's just no good news for the Cardinals.
Meanwhile, the Cardinals' 23rd-ranked offense faces the number 4-ranked Ram defense, and the Rams are off a loss on the road. Should be
to the Panthers.
Yeah, should be plenty upset about it. Even though they're on the road, that tightens this game up just a little bit. Look ahead line here was 9.5, and somewhere there's a believer that Arizona going to be able to keep it tight.
God bless that person.
Because they're 8 or 8.5. It's more than a person. It's persons, and they're betting home team, division game.
Good for them.
And let's just look.
Lou, those people hate money. If I use your phrase. Who do
the Rams have next week, which sometimes matters? They have Detroit. Not a big determination. So. I would tease this down if I was going to use the game and get the Rams from 8 to 6 or 8.5 to 1, depending on how you want to use a teaser, and get them from giving all them points to only giving 1, so that if you win, you can win your bet and move on.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that 8.5 and I went, whoa. People have faith in the Cardinals all of a sudden against the Rams, who, even though they lost last week, they're still, and the Panthers aren't a bad team.
It's not Cardinals like they are giving effort, and the quarterback is solid. Here's the question: why didn't the coaching staff know this was the better quarterback from the beginning?
Well, we have a lot of questions about the Cardinals coaching staff around these parts, Lou. And it's amazing that these guys work so hard to become coaches and then just fail so miserably on obvious things. It's amazing to see. Hey, Texans-Chiefs is the one I definitely want to ask you about here. Sunday Night Football coming up. People that aren't watching the Texans and paying attention to them, they have gotten good in the last 4 weeks. Good. Like, if they're not the best team in the NFL in the last 4 or 5 weeks, they're up there in their defense especially. And they got the Chiefs this weekend. Are people jumping off of this Chiefs bandwagon with their loss last week in Dallas, 6-6, and they just look like a broken team, an old team here that's been to the AFC Championship game a lot, played a lot of football. Are people jumping off that bandwagon right now? Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites.
Oh yeah, they've jumped off and they're full believers in Houston. And what outside good defense makes you think Houston's any good? Their
No,
offense,
just their defense.
Their offense is inept.
Their defense, at least as of going into last week, their defense was on number one defense in the
They're
league.
not
going to
be able to run on
weeks.
Kansas City, and I think Kansas City is going to be in a sour mood. Meanwhile, the third-ranked Kansas City offense, balanced, is going to face the second-ranked Houston defense. Many think it's the first-ranked. Okay, first or second-ranked. It's all Houston D. The game's in Kansas City. Kansas City's had 10 days. This is a must-win for Kansas City. We're going to get Kansas City's best effort, and we'll see what Houston has. I think they're like a UFC fighter that doesn't know wrestling. They're too singularly dimensioned for this team at this time and this game.
Yeah, I just don't know. Just the Chiefs don't look right in any aspect of their side.
Chiefs were 5 a week ago.
Yeah, 3.5 now. Yeah, there you go. Well, we're all seeing the same thing. Let's put it that way.
I have already used the Chiefs and a couple of the other teams we talked about. Monday, I gave this teaser, 3-team, 10-point teaser was released at VSIN Monday morning. Lions, Cowboys over 43. So I took the total in tonight's game down and went over 43. Took Bills from 5.5 to plus 4.5, and took the Chiefs from 3.5 to plus 6.5. That's my teaser. I'm on a run with VSIN. I do one of these a week and have not lost one this year. And we're 13 weeks.
And you like the Bills in that one too, huh?
I like the Bills who are given 5 in their game. I like them getting 4.5. Yes, I do.
Perfect. Eagles, Chargers. Are people now Philadelphia bettors? A lot of those East Coast bettors can move lines by themselves, stuff like that. Eagles are just so many problems on that team, and we're kind of waiting. Then you got the Chargers. Justin Herbert just had surgery, and we don't know if he's going to play this week. Surgery in his off-throwing hand as well going into this game. Does that affect the line at all? 8-4 teams, but lots of question marks here. Eagles are 2.5 favorites for Monday night.
Yeah, and I see a 3, and they were 1.5 on the look-ahead line. So you're seeing a little money on the Eagles. They're the better team. They have the better talent. They're a little dinged up on the offensive line, but their offensive line looks like the Graham City All-Stars next to the battered offensive line that San Diego or that the Chargers have. And Herbert dinged up because he has no line in front of him. This game here.
Yeah, and we don't even know if he's officially playing or not yet. So this line has a potential to move, though. Can he take advantage of
he's
this?
Playing. He's playing. And you really have, by the books, you have a tight competitive game, and that's why I believe the line is about right. On a neutral field, if these teams played, I'd have to say that Philly is probably 4 points. And so you give a 1 point for the Chargers home game, and it ends up 3. I'm okay with that. I think Philly's just got the better talent, and I have the Chargers in a future bet this year. They're going to have to show me a lot, and it's not because they're not a good team. It's because they're overcoming tremendous injuries that have just fallen on that offensive line.
Yeah, and it's an amazing thing to watch with them. My question on the Bills-Bengals one, just really quick here, is Joe Burrow obviously came back last Thursday, Thanksgiving, played well, beat the Baltimore Ravens. They got the Bills this week. Is that affecting the Bengals lines at all? Or people, with Joe Burrow, especially getting that win in the first game? Right now, the Bills are 5.5-point favorites, but with Joe Burrow back, is there a possible play there with him as quarterback?
Well, they think so. The public's all over Cincinnati. They got their quarterback back, and that's going to make a huge difference to the 32nd ranked defense DVOA in the league. Get out of here. This is we're on Buffalo. I like Buffalo
Yeah.
and 5.5 is. I think that's short. That should be more.
All right, perfect. So, Lou, anything else on NFL or UFC for the weekend?
That's it for me.
Yeah, packed show here, man. We ran long overtime. I appreciate everybody hanging out for that as well. Good to have you back in studio again.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, for everybody else, we'll be back tomorrow. He's got a call. We will be back tomorrow, folks. Come on back. McCollum on Business at 11. We'll see you then, everybody. Have a great Thursday afternoon.